Okay, let's talk about cropping those pictures in Photoshop here. First, you want to find a picture. I'm doing a story for Boy Genius. I'm going to look for one that's easy to Photoshop. And a lot of these seem okay, but this one's just magnificent. See, there's nothing behind them at all. That's going to work nicely. Normally, we can't take a photo like this without copyright infringement. This is review. There's kind of a gray area there, so we can do that. If I click on this photo and open it up, if I try to save it just from here, like right-click, save image as, the problem is that it is a web page. We do not want a web page. It makes it very difficult. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the snipping tool. We go into the little bottom section and type in snipping tool. Click on the snipping tool. A little thing like this comes up, click new. And I'm just going to make a little box around them. And snip. There it is. File, save as. I'm going to put it in the same folder with all of my other pictures. Make sure it's the right folder, not Photoshopped. Always, please, always title things. The title of the story makes things much easier for us. The title of the story is, I've already forgotten this. Let's just go Boy Genius. Alright, save that. Now we have a JPEG of that. We can go into Photoshop, open that up. I'm going to go open. Find our Boy Genius photo. Alright, we got it. In Photoshop, we're halfway there. So we need to cut this out here. We look in this left-hand side, about the fourth one down the left-hand side. You might need to right-click it and click the Object Selection tool. This little thing will pop up on the top. Right? We're going to sample all layers, hard edge, and we're going to click the Select Subject button. I'm not sure this thing let me do that. Yeah, it's going. This is like, it's an AI. Figuring out what's part of the picture you want and what's not. So it may take a second on a computer here to figure this out, especially our school computers. So give it the time to do that. It's going to do a fairly decent job, hopefully, of outlining the people, especially if there's not a lot of stuff in the background. If there's more stuff in the background, it gets more difficult for it to do that. So, processing. So this, to go the steps again while we're waiting here, there's just this fourth one down on the left. You want to right-click to make sure we get the Object Selection tool, and then you're going to click Select Subject. Aha! It's done a pretty good job. It selected the subject here. I'm not sure it's perfect, so I'm going to go back to that Object Selection tool. I'm going to right-click again. I'm going to click this Quick Selection tool. And so you get these things up top. You see the plus button, the minus button, and there's like the size of the brush here. So I'm going to zoom in and make sure it's got everything I want. It did a pretty darn good job. I see the hair's messed up there. I'm going to click on the plus brush. I'm going to maybe make my size a little bit smaller. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit more. And then I can kind of click on this to get her head a little bit bigger. There we go. Kind of smooth out that so she doesn't look quite as weird. And you have to kind of go around and do this to everywhere. The AI is pretty darn good, but it's not as good as the human eye. Not quite yet. It's a little weird. It doesn't get like the top of her hand, things like that. And it cuts out the picture. So I'm going to go through there. I'm going to make sure pretty darn good. And once again, it's pretty darn good, mostly because there's no background. If there's background, it's going to be much harder to do this process. If there was too much, I could click on the negative one, right, and take away something, and it takes it away. Change the brush size right here, etc. All right, that's the basics. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just copy this. Scroll out. I'm doing plus, minus, plus, control, minus, control, plus to zoom in and zoom out. I'm going to go to just edit and copy. Edit, copy, simple. I'm going to file and new. I'm going to create a new document here. Go ahead and let it be a clipboard. It's going to make it the perfect size. The very important thing is that it has to say transparent over here. It has to say transparent because we want to get rid of the background. I'm going to click the create button here. In there. I'm going to move my pen. Create. Okay. It's going to create this new section for me where I can just paste it in, edit, paste. There we go. We have a cutout image of Boy Genius. I'm going to go ahead and save that. Well, first, for the paper, I want to make sure it's the right size, right? Convert to profile, newspaper, that's good. image size. We're going to make this nice and big. Pick the bigger number, make it 12. Resolution is 300. You want to have a really, really good quality photo, especially if you're sending it to a printer or something. It's got to be high quality photo. Once you do that, it's going to make it gigantic, which is normal. So fine. In your file, I'm going to save this. Save it to our computer. Okay. I'm going to go find the same file we had before. Now it's Photoshopped. I'm going to go in here. Make sure you title things. It becomes very, very difficult for people putting things together if you don't title things. You save it. Awesome. So we're going to pop into InDesign. Okay, we're going to go to the selection tool in InDesign. And click on the box we want to put it in. File place. Hopefully it's been saved. Scroll down and find Boy Genius. Review. Alright, it's there. Fantastic. Alright, click on just the picture. You see how the orange outline shows it's just the picture. Click on just the picture. You can right click that and then click fitting. If we're lucky, content aware fit will work. If we're not lucky, you might have to do fit it to the frame. Well, it's not working. So let's go back to fitting. Let's go fit content to frame. Alright, so we got Boy Genius in there. I think I want to make it a little bit bigger. You want to make the picture bigger as well as the actual image in the box outside. You got to click on the box and you have to put Control while you drag it up to make it bigger. That'll keep the proportions right, or else it'll look funky. Let me do it here. Alright, where are we at here? How much more do we got? Okay, I'm looking at just like how much writing is there. I'm kind of guesstimating how big I can make this without it being too crazy. That's pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to select the image I want here. I'll put them at the bottom. I need a little more space here. See that little green line pops up that tells you right in the middle. Oops, I got the wrong thing. Got to select the box, Mr. Thing. Okay, it's a pretty good spot. Alright, so once I have this selected, I'm going to go up to the top here and click Window, Text Wrap, and this little box will pop up. We want to do this middle one, right? We're going to detect the edges right here. Now it's outlined. See the outline of the edges? Fantastic. Now this should just pop the text all around it. If it doesn't, you have to just weirdly, I don't know why, click back and forth on these, and then boom, then it works. See how it worked? Now it's kind of following in line with the photograph. So if it's click detect edges and it doesn't automatically do it, just go back and forth between a couple different bindings here. Let's finish this out here. So just play with that. Control Z. Remember to make a mistake, it's Control Z. Okay, I keep making mistakes here. I'm trying to select the whole picture and it's letting me get through. There it is. And to keep it proportional, I think I said the wrong thing. It's Control Alt while you are dragging it. Control and Alt at the same time while you're dragging it. We like to keep our captions here. Drag this out. But that's the basics of it. That's the basics of it. I'm almost out of time here. So, that's it. So, just a recap here. Go through it one time very quick. So I know that was a lot, and you can go back and watch the video. You find the image, right? We go to the image. We save it if we can. We right-click and save if we can. And if it's not a file we can use, we can always use the snipping tool. All right, just type in snipping tool down here. Once we have it snipped, we can bring it into Photoshop. Put it into Photoshop. Fourth one down, we right-click, object selection tool. The AI up here will do it. Select the tool. You select it. You right-click back over here to get the quick selection tool, and then you can make adjustments. You can add it, subtract it. There are other things you can do. You can soften the edge, harden the edge, but this is the basics for now. Once you have it done, it looks like it's cut out nicely. You click File and Copy, and we go File New. You paste it in there, and then you save the one that's been pasted. Once you have it pasted, we put our box in for the picture, right? Put our box in for the picture. We go File and Place. We find the image. Then we go to Windows, and we go to Text Wrap, and then we click on this one with the little circle, and we put, wrap it, how we're going to wrap it on the contour type, detect edges. If it doesn't work, go back and forth between those, and then we just adjust by clicking Control Alt and dragging the whole box back and forth, and that is how